After the shocking revelation in the last issue, with Arthur being revealed to be working alongside Black Manta, Jackson Hyde's terrible dad, will the new Aquaman partnership crack? And what will happen when more and more Atlantean sleeper agents awaken? Aquaman issue number 2 continues the espionage mystery that is happening all around the world regarding the Atlantean sleeper agents rising and basically blowing things up with the words Atlantis remembers. But not only do we continue with that angle of the story, but the issue provides us with some additional info, such as the lost language of Atlantis via ancient Atlantean hieroglyphics. There's definitely this intriguing concept of an old faction of Atlantis waking up from the ocean's deep, and all that is really fascinating. I love when a mystery is in motion, especially whenever it's within a deep, rich world of fantasy, where anything can happen and lore can be explored and further explained, which is perfect when a book like Aquaman involves something fantastical, such as Atlantis. Also, the story part of our two Aquamen having to work alongside Black Manta, it's a great take and it adds a lot of interest to the story, and obviously can help Jackson grow more as a character. However, where the issue drowns, pun, is with Jackson Hyde. I understand that both writers want to continue Jackson's story from the Aquaman becoming mini, and sure, where he's at the moment, narratively speaking, we understand why he's angry. However, at times it feels like Jackson's anger comes off a bit childish, and rather than helping the situation, it's making things worse. Like, it's not ruining the story, but it definitely feels like that part of the issue is slowing down the main plot. And honestly, an angsty teen or young adult in comics feels very much used up a lot in modern comics, especially when it comes to young characters. But hopefully something more comes from this. For me, Jackson Hyde is a great guy, and I feel like his anger isn't really helping him showcase his awesomeness. The whole Jackson thing comes off a bit like Anakin Skywalker from Attack of the Clones, so there's that. But the real intrigue of the book is definitely the way that Black Manta and Arthur interact. And let's be honest, these guys hate each other. Yet I can't help but not love the fact that despite their hatred, they honestly work well together. And so it makes me wonder if the circumstances were different, would Black Manta and Arthur make a good pairing? The other disappointing thing, which, it doesn't ruin the book, but it rather feels like a missed chance, and that is the book's art. It's very plain at times, it's not enough detail with the pen work, and the background of things seems empty, very boring and lifeless, especially the scenes where Jackson is talking with the Aquaman family and Atlantis. I don't know if Sammy Barcy was in a rush or something, but I wish that comic looked more like the future state Aquaman from last year, because let's be honest, those books were fucking sexy. And I don't care who you are, you're lying to yourself if you don't agree. However, every panel featuring Black Manta is great. And maybe it's just because he's pretty simple to fill in color and draw. He has a simple model, but I don't know. I'll give credit where it's due. So good job. Overall, Aquaman issue number 2 is a good issue, and its story overall is intriguing. However, the book does suffer from the lenses of, yeah, this could have been good, but it could have been great. It's a shame that DC doesn't really give a shit about Aquaman enough to polish it up to tenfold. If you made this book really beautiful looking, I just wish DC placed more care in their Aquaman titles. Aquaman issue number 2 gets a 6.5 out of 10. Our story begins in the warehouse in Paris, with Arthur letting Jackson know that his father, Black Manta, is on their side, while explaining that what happened with Orm wasn't an isolated incident. Rather, there are daring forces at play, for dark secrets from Atlantis have been unleashed upon the surface world. But Jackson refuses to listen, because right now, he can't even function the concept, the fact that his mentor, his idol, is working alongside his father, someone who is scum and pure villainy, and he's freaking the hell out. While simultaneously you have Black Manta, who just isn't helping the situation. He's basically talking shit, essentially letting everyone know that, we're wasting time here. So can we stop talking about our emotions, please? And so this immediately triggers Jackson, as he uses his water powers to shape a trident, and he attacks Black Manta, letting him know that they don't need his help. However, Arthur is trying to get him to stop. Therefore, Jackson lets him know that he'll figure this out by himself, because he won't stand side by side with Black Manta. From there, Jackson lets out his rage, unleashing a tidal wave which floods the warehouse. And with him tearing into Arthur for claiming that they were partners but not knowing that he would never stand for this, Jackson lets him know that he could have told him about Black Manta while on their way here, but he didn't. Thus, with Jackson escaping with Jonas Martin's corpse, Arthur lets Black Manta know that they too head over to the underwater city. Now, while on the way to Atlantis, Jackson calls Mara, asking if she's noticed Arthur's been acting weird of late, like anything regarding strange disappearances and secret calls. Basically, he's letting her know that Arthur's been working with Black Manta. Unable to believe what she's hearing, she tells Jackson that what he's saying is just not possible, but it lets her know that he needs to have an Aqua family meeting ASAP, as well as anyone who has background in Atlantean physiology and genetic architecture. Meanwhile, in Bexley, Ohio, local detectives search the wreckage of the Moses home and find Deborah's body, but not Bob's. Shortly after, a helicopter flying overhead records 2 large glyphs carved into the ground at the site, streaming the footage to the detectives who know that they need to get to the FBI because this case has just turned into something much bigger. Picking up in Atlantis, Arthur and Black Manta sneak into a trench-infested outskirt within the 9th Triad, while Jackson arrives with Jonas Martin's corpse to meet with the Aqua family at a laboratory in the eastern area, where he is greeted upon by Garth. And as these 2 Aqualads catch up, Mira and Tula eventually arrive, while accompanied by none other than Dr. Stephen Shin. The group then examines Martin's corpse, while Jackson gives the family a sit-rep on everything that's been happening, including Arthur working with Black Manta. Garth and Tula can't believe that Arthur would ever team up with someone like that, reasoning that maybe there's something more than Jackson knows, and that it could be possible that Arthur is just pretending in order to set Manta up. But that is when Mira interrupts their discussion, answering Jackson's question that Arthur's been acting weird ever since he returned from his trip from Mars. Suddenly, Dr. Shin interrupts them, letting them know that he's completed the autopsy, thanks to Black Manta's particular skills of dismemberment. He determines that Jonas Martin is half Atlantean, genetically modified to be able to survive on the surface. The family concludes that Jonas Martin was a deep undercover spy. Shin also finds a transceiver implanted within his brain, which could potentially deactivate his higher brain functions, causing him to activate whenever needed, a perfect Atlantean sleeper cell. Suddenly, Tula receives the footage of the glyphs from Bexley, Ohio, which Mira recognizes them as lost Atlantean language, to which the glyphs say Atlantis remembers, along with a date corresponding to an incident of an oil spill that killed 7 Atlanteans, who choked to death on the poisoned surface water. Mira concludes that this was no accident, telling Tula to notify the guard, while Mira contacts Frankenstein on Mars. And it's here where Jackson comes to a realization that he too also needs to take his leave. Meanwhile, Arthur and Black Manta fight their way to a hidden broadcast station, which Arthur appears to be familiar with, as he tells Black Manta that the codes activating Jonas Martin were sent from this station. However, the machine needs 2 people to use it, but it also subjects them to a powerful energy surge which could kill even an Atlantean. Finding only 1 corpse at the controls, they realize that one of the people who activated the code is still alive and very much at large. And so together, Arthur and Black Manta have to deactivate the code. Now, although Arthur's powers will protect him, at the same time, he is still worried about Black Manta, wondering if his suit is strong enough to protect him. But Black Manta assures him that he's a badass, and that he can hold his own weight. Thus, as they turn the lever to deactivate the code, a strong surge of power is let out from the controls, and Arthur gets a vision of his wife Mira, his daughter Andrenia, Atlantis, and the lighthouse, while Black Manta, he only gets a vision of Jackson, lashing out at him. Together they survive, but the station begins to collapse around them. Picking up later with Jackson at the aquarium, a maximum security prison, which, by the way, is a fantastic name for an underwater prison, where, believing that Orm's attack on the UN was a distraction, Jackson demands to know how Orm knew about the sleepers. But Orm instead directs Jackson's question at Arthur, telling him to ask his partner, insinuating that Arthur knows more and is purposely not telling him. And so from there, Orm tells Jackson that he'll only speak with the real Aquaman, which only agitates Jackson. Therefore, Jackson uses his powers to manipulate the water running all throughout Orm's body, twisting him into a pretzel, torturing him, demanding to know on whatever it is that Orm knows about the sleepers. And that, folks, was the end of Aquaman issue number 2. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sayer of where it's SuperCliff, And if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button. And also hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 3? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.